Is it starting?
Yeah, it is fine.
Well, it's too early.
No, we're 2 minutes. It's fine. We're 1 minute. Give the ladies some time to... But look how better this is today.
And I wore my shirt that you wanted me to wear.
Right.
Probably has food all the way down it. And you'll hear talk in the back, or beeps in the background, because I forgot to turn off my Mac, which is across the room. So everybody messaging me, you'll hear all the beeps. So we'll wait for a couple people to join us.
We're early, and I was putting on mascara this morning, and I put myself, like, in the eyeball.
Look at you. You're all dressed up for the show.
You were, too. You ate away your lipstick, though.
Yeah, I probably did. Something I never wear. So anyway, just want to get you guys going. But we have started. April, do you need to get over a little bit?
So I think this is good. I got to get to the box
that's right.
Stuff.
So maybe we could adjust the camera so you're not cut off. So if you guys could see our camera set up, you'd laugh.
We're so professional.
Yeah, we are so professional. But anyway, welcome. Hey, Jason. So glad to see you, Pat. Great to see you. We changed our schedule today. We were going to talk about needles, how to thread a needle, the best needles to buy and everything. But honestly, I have not taken the chance to really sit down and do some pieces that I wanted to do as examples, because I've been suffering from a migraine for the past 2 days. I'm feeling better today. And next week, for sure, we will be talking about needles, what type of needles to use, what type of tapestry needles, why you need to use a tapestry needle, and the 2 top needles that I think are the best and only needles that you should be using. There's 2 brands I use. One is made by the wonderful, to me, the goddess, queen, woman of cross stitch, Pat Carson, has these made in Japan, and the other ones are John James. So I will be talking about those next week. But this week, because I just wasn't prepared, we decided to talk about how to frame your projects, how to use different ideas on framing projects. We won't go into a lot of detail about framing today. We'll do that in our own class on how to frame, where I'm going to have April do a film while I'm framing a piece. So she'll be having the camera and moving the camera around for that. But today it'll just be April and myself. And here's one thing that we really are going to talk about today. If you guys remember, last week's show was about washing projects and why not to use tape. I had the opportunity to pick up a few pieces of cross stitch from a man whose wife had passed away, and unfortunately she taped all of her projects. So I'm going to have April hold that up there.
Closer.
And you can see that's where the tape was and how it has basically ruined the piece. But I will salvage it and I will frame it.
It's so super cute.
It's a cute little Hummel design she did, and what I'm going to be doing is I will be framing this in a rustic barnwood frame. Hey, Elizabeth! Hey, I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Matthews, everybody. Not to stop the show quickly, but I'm glad Elizabeth is here. Please, please, if you're praying people, and I know that a lot of you have a lot of love in your hearts, please pray for Elizabeth, who will be heading in for major, major, major surgery this week. Actually tomorrow, I believe. And so I just want to thank you guys for keeping her in your thoughts and prayers. She's been a stalwart fan of our group and very, very supportive of us. But not to take away from that. But anyway, we left a little bit of this tape on to show you what taping does. And I know we have I won't call out any names, but someone up in Alaska and Massachusetts uses tape. This is what it does to your projects. But anyway, I'm going to be framing this in a rustic barnwood frame that my husband's going to cut, or my son's probably likely going to cut for me, and then I'm going to donate it to the school for their fundraiser that they have every April. And so I'm excited about that. So, howdy, Carol from Texas.
Texas.
So, a couple of things I want to talk about. I've been so I've had a number of needlework stores. I've had 4 needlework stores throughout brick and mortar in 4 different areas, and a lot of sellers, a lot of designers don't think I'm a legitimate business, so they won't sell to me. because I don't have that brick and mortar. But yet they'll sell to other stores that are just online stores. We are a legitimate business. We do tons and tons. We have more than most needlework stores have in our inventory. I also sell on a lot of other sites. But one company that's been really, really proactive in reaching out to me has been Needlework Press. And I want to show you the new design.
Look how cute. We'll bring it closer.
Halloween time. We're pretty excited to have that in, along with the clock that you can put it in. This is a Tim Holtz clock that we do have in stock, and we do have more coming in. And if you buy them both together, April, the cost is
$16.99.
And also, they've stitched it on 30 count Weeks Dye Works, but I believe it will also fit on 28 count over 2 threads. We do have an awesome green fabric. Let me see if it's right here. I saw it yesterday. I don't know where it is. But actually, we have this awesome green fabric that is about this color. That is 28 count. And speaking of this, Sherry LeDuc, your bag has arrived. It is a little wrinkled, but it will be in the mail to you tomorrow morning. If anybody's interested, we do have these bags. They are from Designs by Lisa. They are being discontinued at a closeout price of $14.99. It is burlap on the back, has openings in the front so you can put your stuff, has a button to keep everything in, and it's all burlap inside. And they are $14.99 plus shipping. They don't cost much to ship. I will fold them to ship and so that we can get them like this so that they don't have to be put in a box. Awesome, awesome bags. I had one on the airplane going to, I can't remember where I was headed, Las Vegas, I believe, and ended up selling it on the airplane. So, Sherry, yours is on the way, but we do have these. We can get these from Designs by Lisa. Her name is Kathy Hackford. She is a designer that lives near me, and I see her often. I pass by her house almost every day on the way to take Thomas to school. The other thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into finishing on talking about framing your items is I want to talk about Anchor floss. A lot of people have been asking me why I like Anchor so much more than DMC, and the reason why I like Anchor more is to me it lays better down on the fabric. It doesn't have the dye lot problems that I'm seeing with DMC. And from a lot of people that I've been hearing from in private messages, their DMC is much thinner than what it has been in the last few years. To me, Anchor's very consistent. And the 2 colors for sure that I would start out with are black and white. Black is just amazing. To me, I wouldn't stitch any project with black unless I used Anchor. Actually, I don't stitch any projects unless I use Anchor or a hand-dyed or a silk. But anyway, we are going to be carrying some colors of Anchor, and we can get Anchor in for you.
Should I show them close?
Yeah, you can show it close to them. Thank you.
Yeah. You
I know that Mr. Pershing is going to be using some of it, and so is Daisy. So we'll let them follow up with you and let you know what we're doing. And Heather Otler is also going to be using it on a major, major project. This is a girl that takes big projects to a limit. Also, Kimberly House-Morrow, you're an animal. I just got her a piece of fabric that's 60 inches tall.
Crazy.
She's going to be doing, I don't know, but she's doing the Hulk on one. The
Something.
Incredible Hulk. I don't know. She's amazing. So anyway, guys, going back to Needlework Press, just so you know, this is the Halloween one, and being released next Tuesday, I've got word, it's Christmas stitching time.
Oh,
it's
no.
Beautiful. It's really cute. She sent me pictures. I will announce it in the group today to get signed up. Vicki has been awesome to me, reaching out to me, and I'm really supportive of this company because they really believe in stitchers and they really believe in businesses. And I've been quite blown away by how awesome they've been. So this is exciting, an exciting pattern. If you already have the clocks and you only need the pattern is $7.99. The clocks are $9.99, and so we're excited to have them. But anyway, let's go ahead and start. Heather, there you are. I just called you out on your Anchor floss. Girl, here we are with some black Anchor floss. So you can watch this later. Hey, Holly, Janice, good to see you guys.
So, I guess we'll get on with the show. Today, the question, first off, glass or no glass?
Okay, so a lot of people have asked me, do you put all your items under glass? And I will say that some of my items are under glass, some are not. The reason why I use glass, here's one without glass, one with glass. The reason why I usually use all glass is because I have dogs and we have a lot of dust in Utah. And I think a lot of times is if you have a lot of dust and you have a lot of other items in the air, pollens and stuff, then I would use glass. Back to Sherry. Sherry, look what's here, girl. You just checked in. Your bag's here. On the way to you. So, but anyway, back to glass or no glass. I use glass for everything. The reason why these are not glassed is, have glass on them is that you can see this one is raised. And I like to use glass on all of my items because I don't like for the chance of moth bites, for dirt, for dust and everything. And I also use glass, and when I use glass, I use museum glass or glass that has, these have spacers between them. On any of my really detailed museum type, not museum type, but my samplers and everything, they have a lot of spacers between them so that they don't touch the glass. But I do use museum or conservation glass, which a lot of times requires you to purchase it. Now I have a company here in Utah that will cut the glass for me because I do all of my own framing. I don't take my stuff to be framed. And we'll talk about framing in a whole nother class and how you can use foam core board and pins to frame, and also that you can stitch on the back, to weaving on the back. I'm not even thinking framing today. So I did this as a gift for a school. Actually bought it back myself because I didn't think it went for very much. There wasn't enough.
Should I show them?
Yeah, it wasn't stitched well enough. Not stitched. It didn't go for a high enough price.
So
and this
pretty.
has got what I put on it is I put TrueGuard UV protection glass on it that I had framed on it. This is a Waxy Moon design, I believe. And then this one was given to me by a friend of mine, and so you can see it's got the initials in there, BW. And what they've done with that is they've padded it. They've put padding on it so it's raised. And so I think that's why they chose not to have it with glass on it. In this location, I highly recommend for me having glass because I have 2 golden retrievers and also a lot of dust. As April can tell you, she's highly allergic.
Dusty.
Very dusty here.
So
here we go, matting. So here's what we're going to do. This was one that was given to me. This was quite a neat little story. I have a fondness for sheep.
So cute.
A friend of mine, one of our admins, sent me this as a gift. Lane Davison, thank you very much. And with it came the mat. The mat is acid-free. You want to make sure you use acid-free and you use spacers. And I use acid-free foam core also. The reason why this is not framed is because it was just put on acid-free board, mat board, and I want to put it on foam core, and I also want to take off the tape. But the saying on the back was really quite touching. Something you guys might want to think about to put on the back of your pieces. It says, "Now the stitcher's hands are quiet, her soul has gone above, but the beauty she created remains for us to love. When you look upon this treasure and admire her earthly skill, know each thread was pulled with love, and it remains there still." So I've never taken that little piece of paper off because I thought it was so interesting. But Lane did buy this at an estate sale, I believe, and it was stitched on one of my all-time favorite cloths, Alma cloth, which is no longer made, and I wish that someone would bring it back. But I use everything acid-free, even if I'm just framing a simple little design. I do a foam core board, acid-free, mat board, acid-free. I use spacers, and I use True Value or restoration, what they call restoration glass, or museum glass. It comes in different names, but the one that I always remember is True Guard glass. Um, it's conservation glass featuring True Guard. It's a UV light protection blocking. So anyway, it's funny that I'm just have these sitting around, things to get done.
Where would you suggest to buy the matting at?
So what's really neat, you can buy your matting. You can go in and have your matting pre-cut at places like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and everything. Where you're going to pay for your really, really expensive pricing and framing is when they start making the frames and start custom cutting that type of stuff, which is great. You can do that. I live right near Jill Rensel, and I pay for her to do a few things. But I like to frame my own stuff because I have 3 guys that are very handy with frames. I mean, with woodwork. But here's an interesting thing too. I brought this one in. This is an old Amelin design that I've had forever. But if you look here, I'm going to have April hold this up. If you can see where those screws are on each end, these are pre-made frames that you can buy, and you screw them together. You buy each side as a set, and then you put them together. So say your frame was an unusual size, you can go in and buy that and then put them together. And it's kind of a neat thing. They come in wood and come in metal. And so that's one way to save on framing costs. It's hard for me to tell you guys to frame your stuff because another great way to find frames is to go to thrift stores or to old estate sales, garage sales, and find your stuff. Here's a fun little one that I just found this weekend. I paid 25 cents for it. Didn't have the backing. No worries, I can get the backing. Probably won't use the glass, but the frame was 25 cents. And what am I going to put in it? I don't know. But I have a whole bunch of finished pieces that likely could go in here. And here's one for an example. Here's a little shepherd's bush design that was done, and now I'm going to just pop this glass in here just so you can see. Just, it's not centered at all, but you can see that this could be a cute little, well, there goes the glass. That could be a cute little design that could go into a simple little 25-cent frame, and you can see that right there. And what I would do is I would use foam core. You want to use acid-free foam core board, and what I do is I pin it. We'll talk about that in a future class, and in fact this is one that was done with foam core board and framed. This was also one of my times, I think I did this when Jim was in the Marine Corps, and we did this for just having around the house. But I put batting on it, and I used cotton batting for quilting that is conservation type, not conservation, but it doesn't get a lot of mill worms or anything like that. It's what they use for heritage quilts. So there's many things you can do, but you guys think about framing and how expensive it is. You need to, when you look at your projects and see if they can fit into standard size frames that maybe you could buy at thrift stores, buy at garage sales, or anything like that. But there's ways to also frame your items without really framing them. You know, if you don't have enough wall space, or you want to make other things like bell pulls or stuff like that, there's so many different ways to do it. But on the framing aspect of framing, think outside the box. And don't go take out your mother-in-law's picture off the wall to use that frame. Okay, maybe you can. But what you can do is you can take a list. What I do is I have a little book. I'm a visual person. Instead of having to dig it out of my computer off my iPhone to see what sizes I have, but I travel with a little book that fits into my purse, tiny little book, and it tells what size of pieces of fabrics I have that I need frames for. I have a whole bunch of these little shepherd's bush ones I've either done at retreats or done from them, from their little kits, and I have a whole bunch of these that I need to get framed. And so I have these in a little book of how big of an opening of a frame I want. Hi Laura, thanks for joining us. And so what I want to do is I want to carry that little book with me, and then if I see frames, I just kind of scan through either at a garage sale or at a thrift store or somewhere, and I've picked up frames for as little as 25 cents, and I've never paid more than a couple of dollars for some frames. So there's many options. The other thing is if you have a frame that you want to have a rustic look, paint it with paint and then sand down the edges. That's what I did with this frame. Just sanded down the edges with some sandpaper to give it more of a rustic look. But if you have an old frame that you want done and it's not in great shape and it's got some nicks, Old English makes a dark furniture polish, and what you can do is you can touch it up. Make sure that your project is not in it. Let it dry. If it is in it, I always put a piece of plastic over it and touch up, let it dry so that it doesn't get onto the piece. So my son dropped a picture frame. In fact, it was this one. What a gorgeous frame. And he dropped it and it nicked on the edge, and I just got the Old English dark furniture polish, and I didn't have to worry about the piece, but I was really careful, covered it up with the dark Old English, let it dry, and you can't even tell that he dropped it. So there's many ways to fix those kind of frames. But let's talk about, you don't want to frame it, you don't have enough wall space, you have so many things that you've stitched, or the person that you're stitching for, you don't want to spend the extra $100 or $200 to frame a piece. And so there's so many different options. I'm going to do the first one. This was a pillow. This was a shepherd's bush scatter pumpkins. Now, my sewing machine's been buried for 20 years in a closet upstairs, so I did not... oh, Elizabeth said walnuts also work. Walnuts also work. I'm going to assume that you rub the walnut on it. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I saw it on Pinterest. You rub it on like table scratches or, dings in your chair legs or something. The oils in the nut is supposed to do something.
Is that why walnuts hurt the inside of my mouth when I eat them?
I think if they're raw, they're toxic.
Oh,
Or
man.
something. I don't know.
I
Tell us
can't eat
about walnuts. People.
Yeah,
We don't know.
Elizabeth, tell us. So this was a scatter pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns from Shepherd's Bush, but I just didn't want to have it out on a table because I didn't have a big enough place on my Halloween table or my harvest table, because I don't decorate for Halloween, harvest table. And so so what I did is I had Lonnie, who is the stitcher for Shepherd's Bush, she made this into a pillow for me. One thing to keep in mind is April is a sewer. She does a lot of finishing stuff. She doesn't cross stitch, but she does sew. She is, Lonnie did this for me a number of years ago. And by the way, this pillow is for sale if anybody wants it for their...
It's so super cute, guys.
And special price today. It cost me a lot to have it made. And the special price on it today is $41.99, completely finished on linen with all the JABC buttons. So, Pat Carson's telling April that walnuts make great fudge.
They do make great fudge.
She's my cook also. So, thank you, Elizabeth, for bringing out the walnuts. That's a great piece of advice. So anyway, you can make pillows. If you're not a sewer, what do they make? They make pre-finished pillows. So these are pillows that come from a number of different companies we have. They can be as simple as buying one from Stitch a Gift, which you put the insert inside after you've stitched it. And in fact, I'm going to have April add something in there so that you can see how easy it is. Or these come to where you put your project in once it's finished. I'm going to just do this here as we're sitting here. You would trim the fabric to where it's trimmed to fit in there. I'm only showing you guys this just because I'm not using this particular pillow. But we do carry pillows like this. And this would be trimmed, unlike me trying to pop it in here for you. But this would all be trimmed out. They lay flat. Pine Mountain's a big company that does this. Does it move over?
Crooked. It's crooked. I
crooked.
don't know what I'm doing.
So anyway, it fits in here like this. But anyway, this is not trimmed, but they fit. They pop right in. They're great for gifts. Some of ours comes with little handles on them so you can hang them on doors.
There we go.
Fits like
Wrinkly.
I mean, it doesn't look like this. I'm giving you a really bad example because it's not trimmed. But these fit. Lynn Kerr is a firm believer in Stitch-A-Gifts. She loves these. These are made by an awesome lady in Oklahoma.
We have these particular ones on sale until Tuesday for $4.99.
No, $12.99.
Just kidding, $12.99.
These are $4.99.
That's right.
We have these for $4.99 on sale.
Cute colors.
Some,
Got a green one.
and yes, and Pat Carson is
Super
running
cute.
a program for the kids that lost their homes in Louisiana for the floods, and they're making ornaments. We do have a link in our group, so if you're not a member of our group, because this will go out to YouTube afterwards, where we've got a huge following. If you're not a member of our group, we will put the link in to join our group, and you'll be able to follow Pat and maybe make some ornaments for the children that lost their homes in Louisiana recently, and prayers go out to all of them. But we do have different ornaments. We do have different sizes. I do have a fun one that I'm going to send Pat, some that have snowmen on them. Whoever wants to make an ornament for Pat, I've got a couple of those that I can send to you, or we can send to Pat and she can add them to them. We'll talk about that afterwards. Also, there's a lot of companies that also do pre-finished items. They do, I'll tell them to order from me, so we'll do that. A lot of companies do pre-finished items, like pillows. So this is a 10 count with flannel snowman on it. Just saying, Sherry LeDuc. Snowman. She's my snowman girl. And anyway, what you do, it has a zipper all the way around. This, unfortunately, this one is no longer made, and we only have one left. And of course, I don't know the price on it. But I know they were normally like $45. This one today is $19.99. But anyway, all zipped, all comes, great, what did I just do here? It unzips, and what you do is you stitch inside, and then you stuff it, and then you zip it back up. The zipper is actually pretty hidden. I had to look for the zipper. April had to tell me it was there. But these are great with quick, 20 bucks. You've got a project right there. We also have some different ones for fun Halloween designs. This is 7 count Claustern. That what this is also a zipper on the back. You would stitch on it and then stuff it and zip it. So there's so many different designs, and we have a ton of these in storage that we need to get out, different themes. We also have what they call pocket pillows or envelope pillows or letter pillows. These are letter pillows. You can stitch here, anything on the design. You can even stitch down here. Again, a zipper. And what you do is you can make these so simple. You could use plain fabric, stitch it together, and then make this. But this unzips and you can stitch inside. You stitch right there inside. Hey Kim, thanks for joining us. And so these are great. These are fun. I've seen people put, saw one on a boy's bag going to college when Stephen was going to college a number of years ago. I'm sure that kid has graduated, but Stephen hasn't. But anyway, we'll talk about that at another time. But anyway, it said, "Mom loves you." And he took it to college, and I kind of giggled, and I said, "Stephen, did you want me to make you one of those?" "No, Mom." But that kid ended up becoming a really good friend of my son, and his mom is one of my big cross-stitch fans. She loves us. But there's so many ideas for pillows. If you're not a sewer, there's a lot of ready-made ones. And I'm also going to have April down the road teach a quick way to make pillows like these that are, you stitch across, you sew across, you just make this so simple. I'm going to have April teach that class down the road on making pillows. A lot of people nowadays don't have sewing machines, but if you wanted to get into making your own, sewing machines are really inexpensive nowadays. I mean, I've seen sewing machines that are great sewing machines on Amazon for $100. And so probably better than my thing sitting up there that's It's been sitting in the closet. The other thing is they don't make these anymore, but what a great idea. You could make a cuff to sew.
You could definitely do that yourself. Like if you just bought...
Even if you bought a pre-finished stocking.
A pre-finished stocking, and you take the fabric of your choice, and you could definitely do that yourself. Some bias tape, super simple. What a fun idea.
Very fun. Very fun. And it puts a whole new meaning on making a Christmas stocking that is not completely full. And one of my earliest customers that's still a follower of me, Terry Reed, is going to be a brand new grandmother, and she's looking for a stocking with polar bear. So I think I found one for her last night. But she does these massive ones that complete the whole thing. But what a quick one to do for me. This will probably be what I'll do for James, my grandson.
Smart.
Something fast, something quick. But his other grandmother's a massive quilter, so I may not get to that. But anyway, lots of ideas. And Pat Carson has a finishing book for pillows that you can share, that we'll talk about. Lots of ideas. I have the book. I've sold every one I have, but I have mine in stock. But we'll give you some ideas on finishing pillows, how to make those. And Pat says I'm welcome to share that idea with you guys for free. So we'll plan that for a wonderful class.
We'll talk about Canada shipping.
Thank you, Carol. You're awesome. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you. Look at this.
Cute.
So this was an ornament that I wish I could say I made, but I didn't. But it's so simple. So
How
simple.
cute this is. It says joy, not yote.
So all she did on this, she told me, this was a gift to me. Funny thing is it's a cat, and I'm not a cat lover. Sorry, all you cat lovers, but I cherish this thing. What she said she did is she put this onto acid-free foam core board with a padding, put fabric on the back, pinned it in, and then I swear she told me this. She said that she crocheted the edging on.
Yeah,
this is crocheted edging.
So crazy.
She crocheted this on into little holes she made. So if you're not a crocheter, she made this. But these are great little ideas to make for gifts. You can add ribbon, and if you pin. Do you have that other pillow?
Oh yes.
So we have another pillow that was a simple pocket pillow that she just sewed right sides together, left a little opening down here at the bottom, pulled it through. Then what she did is she went and hand sewed ribbon on that.
Look how cute.
Went and hand sewed ribbon on that, and then just stuffed it and closed up the little edging. So cute. And these were made for me, gifts that were made for me from different customers. Shelly, you're so cute. Isn't that the cutest ornament?
It is cute.
Shelly is one of my cost members. I run an online group called Cindy's Online Selling Tips that I help sellers sell on eBay, Etsy, Amazon, and other platforms. And Shelly's been one of my die-hard, I don't want to call her a follower, but she listens to what I say, I guess. And she's an amazing photographer. And I think she should be selling all of her photography online because she's amazing. But so many great ideas. So if you guys, gals, boys, whoever's here, find lots of projects that you've either stitched and don't have framed, like me, start thinking outside the box. Like this is going to become a little pillow in Buffalo Bill's colors, and I'm going to be putting this on either Amazon, Handmade Amazon, or Etsy. After it gets made into a pillow, that'll sell in heartbeat for fans. Hey Julie, welcome. And also, funny one, Martha Stewart doesn't live here. Now this one I would definitely put into glass because it would go in a kitchen or in a kitchen somewhere fun. these are ones that I've picked up from different things. Danielle, we're so glad to have you here, and we're hoping that these ideas help you. Again, fun stuff. I don't know why I'm not a big Bills fan, but these were all picked up at a sale that I picked up at a garage sale not too long ago. This one, I have great ideas for this. Rustic frame. And next week, don't forget, we're going to be talking about needles. Pat will not be able to join us. Pat Carson will be teaching in Branson, Missouri next week, but we'll be talking about her awesome needles and how you'll be able to get them.
What are some ideas for some larger projects if you can't sew?
Okay, Heather, what I would recommend for larger projects, if you don't want to have them framed, make them into wall hangings. Oh, you don't sew.
Bell pulls.
Bell pulls, but she doesn't sew.
Oh,
So framing.
that's right.
But what I would do, is I would take the size of your design, figure out how much it is, how big it is, and go to thrift stores and pick up frames. Now look outside the box. If you see a picture in the frame,
Take it out.
take the frame. Yeah,
Cover it up.
Cover it up. Take out the picture and use that frame. And Heather, I know you do massive projects. She's doing a picture of a dog right now.
Oh my goodness.
And and Heather's one that is working with DMC and having some issues with it. And so I'm trying to help her out with that. But when she gets that project done, I would really consider looking to see if you could frame that from something that you find a picture frame at either a garage sale, a thrift store, somewhere. It's amazing how many I have found and how well I've done. So there's a lot of projects, like this one, Listen Honey, I'm Just a Hunk of Burning Love. This was a fun one because what you do is I'm going to frame this with a funky frame with some little glitter and stuff on it. So Pat says she
Would use a chain stitch for any size pillow.
Okay, and we'll go into that in more detail because I'm not understand what she's saying. And Julie, thank you for joining us. Julie's a mother of 4 or 5, just like April. And she's also a seller on eBay with me. So she's been following me for a long time. But the other thing is I wanted to show... We've gone over our time, but that's okay. We can go over our time a little bit. One thing I want to show you is... April was talking to me a few minutes ago, and she said, so, Cindy, here's a piece that says Bridges, 2006. And a number of years ago, I had the opportunity to go down. It was a sad story. I ended up buying out a woman who had passed away, and the family didn't want a lot of her finished work. She was an immaculate stitcher. She was amazing. And this was one of the pieces. And someone says, well, why would you keep that? Why? Because what I can do is I can easily pick out the name Bridges and put in Sorley's and then put in the year if I want. But what I'll probably do is Sorley, and then I'll probably do home. And I might even give this to my kids for a gift because they love fall. That's their favorite holiday, their favorite season. I just haven't had the time, because there's not 82 hours in a day for me. And so Carol Rogers says she's done a lot of Lizzie Kate's. She frays the edges and she puts on felt. We have seen a lot of that. One thing that I recommend is if you want like a fringed look, what you can do is you can do a chain stitch along the edge and then fray it out and then put it on felt. Just be careful how you tack it onto the felt. I don't like to use glues. I like to stitch it on because down the road the glue can come out and discolor your project. So real quick, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be listing this week because we've gone over a time on this, but today, if we get around to it, we'll be listing the rest of our samplers that we have. We have hundreds and hundreds. We'll also be listing the patterns that are remaining from the late Teresa Smith, T.A. Smith. She was an amazing designer that passed away this last year suddenly. And we do have a lot of her patterns in stock. If you haven't discovered her, you might want to. At this time, we don't know what is going to be happening with her company. We don't know if her daughter is going to keep it running. But She was a stalwart eBay, Facebook follower of a lot of people. A lot of people still have the still has her as a friend. I still have her friend on Facebook, and even though she's passed away. So Pat is going to send me a sample of the chain stitch when she gets home, and we will post all that, and we'll also post all of her finishing touches, tips, but also we will be listing
we will be listing Mill Hill kits and
Tina Tripp.
having a Lizzie Kate sale.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big Lizzie Kate clearance sale. Some of the earlier designs that we've got one or two of that we just need to make room because Lizzie Kate kind of has overtaken our shop. Also, Tina Tripp has done an incredible job on a document on those sellers that ship to Canada to help you save money to sell to our Canadian buyers who we love. April and I ship to Canada every single day, and it is a document that is worth printing, worth having in front of you, and we would love to have you read that. Gina, thanks for joining us. We're just getting ready to close, but on a closeout, on a lasting thing, April has got a special for you guys.
Yeah, we do. We have a sale on a DMC floss. There's 100, hopefully non-duplicated colors in here. We have so many of these bags, and they're going to be $29.99 for how long?
Well, until they're gone. We have about 30, well, probably 25 or 30 bags. This makes them 29 cents a piece. I will combine shipping. They're mixed colors. They're all new. They're all, we just need to clear them out because we don't have room to store all the bins that they come in. We're using the bins for other things. And Carol, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Gina, thanks for joining us again. But anyway, don't forget the new clock pattern from Needlework Press, Halloween time, and also Christmas time will be out this week, and we do have the clocks in stock.
We do. Ladies, please don't forget to join us for our Tuesday weekly sales. We got a lot of really great stuff on there. Please check it out. Sales.
And if you guys have any questions, let us know, and we will talk to you next week. And next week will be on needles and why to use them, which ones to use. Bye!
See ya!